Internal Audiovisual Archive of Registry Documents. Document being archived SMC28. The Demon's Skull. Archivist Lawrence Lyer Reevaluation Department. Location. Usually hides in homes and wanders around at night before leaving. Status: active. Description and behavior. The Demon's Skull is a jawless, human-like skull with short horns. It has a brown coloration and typically floats about 6 feet 1.8 meters from the ground. Generally, this entity manifests inside of a home between the hours of 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning and leaves before 5 o'clock in the morning the same day. It spends its time wandering the house, producing a loud and persistent humming sound. If approached, it will greet the person and engage them in conversation. At this point, the entity will ask the person what item they most desire is. After receiving an answer, the skull will direct the person to enter a particular room of the home. The room will contain an altar with a human bound to it. Instructions will be given to sacrifice the victim to the demon's skull for the desired item. If it is carried out, the skull will make good on the deal and provide the item. It is not known what occurs if the sacrifice is not carried out. Persons who take this deal often find themselves incapable of ever falling asleep again, usually dying of sleep deprivation. The few who can achieve sleep have admitted, after intensive interviews, to have somehow maintained contact with the skull. They claim that the skull is attempting to build a following for itself. For what purposes remain unknown. Recommended actions. As the demon's skull does not seem inherently violent to those who do not approach, it is likely safe to ignore this entity. This entity cannot be properly monitored due to the nature of its manifestations, and as such it is barely understood. What is known is that it is not known to bother anyone who does not approach it. Therefore, the recommendation is to stay in bed and try to ignore the entity. End archive.